Good morning, Junior 4. In this video, I will talk about the properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, it is the second video. Last video, I talked about the metals and non-metals, and I said that elements are classified into two groups, metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals. Okay, now I will show you metals and non-metals in pictures, the name of metal or non-metal, and a picture. Non-metals. The difference between metals and non-metals. Number one, metallic luster. Metals have metallic luster or shiny. Metallic luster means shiny. Okay? Non-metals are not shiny or don't have metallic luster. Okay? Example, iron, gold, copper, they are metals. So they are shiny. So they are shiny like this picture. Okay, they are shiny. But coal, it's a black one, not shiny, or don't have metallic luster. Okay? After that, number two, electric conductivity. Conductivity means connect to electricity or no. So when I make electric circuit here, battery, electric wires, and lamp, when I put a coin, this coin is made of element which is the copper. So the lamp light, the lamp turn on, okay? But when I put a piece of sulfur, it will not light. Why? Because metals are good conductors of electricity, connect to electricity, but non-metals bad conductors of electricity. And you have to know that carbon or graphite is non-metal, but good conductor of electricity. So if I put a piece of coal, okay, here, and instead of this coin, this metallic coin, the lamp will light also. But when I put a piece of sulfur, the lamp will not light. Why? Because carbon is non-metal, but it's a good conductor of electricity. Okay? Number three, heat conductivity. Metals good conductors of heat. If your mother put on the cooker aluminum pot, okay, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. Why? Because aluminum is metal and metals are good conductors of electricity. But non-metals are bad conductors of electricity, bad conductors of heat. Melting point. Metals have high melting point, but non-metals have low melting point. High melting point means that take more time and more heat to be melted, but non-metals, it melts quickly. Okay? So it has high melting, metals have high melting point, but non-metals have low melting point. The last one, malleability, to be malleable. Okay? Malleable. Now the iron nails can be bent because they are metals and they are malleable. But a piece of coal, if I do like this, it will be a powder because they aren't malleable, can't be bent. Okay, so now the properties of elements are: number 1, metallic luster; number 2, electric conductivity; number 3, heat conductivity; number 4, melting point; number 5, malleability.
What are the properties of metals and nonmetals?
Metals are shiny, while nonmetals are not shiny. All metals are good electric conductors. While all nonmetals are bad electric conductors except graphite. Metals are good conductors of heat while nonmetals are bad conductors. Heat can be transferred through a metal fork, but it can't be transferred through carbon. Metals have high melting points while nonmetals have low melting points. We notice here, the piece of iron doesn't melt because it needs very high temperature, while sulfur melts quickly because it needs less temperature. Metals are malleable and ductile, while nonmetals are not. So, metals can be bent or reshaped into different forms, but nonmetals are brittle.
Let's solve this evaluation. Complete. Number 1 is a substance that can't be decomposed into 2 substances or more. Element. Number 2, elements are classified into metals and non-metals. Pay attention that elements are classified into natural and artificial elements. This wrong. Not correct. It's wrong. Elements are classified into metals and non-metals. Okay? Number 3. Is a liquid non-metal? Bromine. Where is a liquid metal? Mercury. Number 4. The group of has metallic cluster? Metals. But the group of non-metals doesn't have. Number 5 and last one. The melting point of sulfur is than the melting point of aluminum. You have to know that sulfur non-metal and aluminum metal. So sulfur is lower than melting point of aluminum. And now I will talk about some uses of metals and non-metals, the importance of the metals and non-metals, the function of metals and non-metals. Okay? Number 1, iron. You have to know that iron is a metal, okay, and solid metal. It's used in making bridge, car frames, doors, and street lights. Why? He can ask you, give a reason why I use iron in making doors, street lights, car frames, bridge. Why? Because iron is malleable. Iron is malleable. Look at this picture. All of these are made of iron. Number 2, aluminum. Used in making cooking pots, foil paper, and door knobs. Look at this picture and you'll understand. Why I use aluminum in making cooking pots? Because it's a good conductor of heat and it's malleable. Okay? Number 3, copper. Look at this picture. Okay, used in electric wires. Why? Because it's a good conductor of electricity. But used in statues and coins because copper is malleable. Now pay attention. When I ask you why I use iron in electric wires, if you answer because it's malleable, it will be wrong. Okay? Copper is malleable, okay. But when he asks me why I use copper to make electric wires, I will answer because it's a good conductor of electricity. Okay? Number 4, silver and gold. They are used in making jewelry because they are malleable and shiny or have metallic cluster. Shiny and malleable. Okay? The last one, carbon. Carbon or graphite. And you have to know that carbon is non-metal, but it's the only non-metal which is a good conductor of electricity. So I use carbon in making the dry batteries or dry cells, like this picture. Okay?